Ayaan sat by the window, a cup of untouched chai growing cold in his hands. The monsoon rain beat a steady rhythm against the glass, each drop a tiny echo of the melancholy that had settled deep in his soul. The familiar ache in his chest was back, a constant reminder of the invisible thread that connected him to a life miles away. He closed his eyes, and a vision of her face, etched with a bittersweet smile, filled his mind's eye. Zara. The city outside bustled with life, oblivious to the silent storm raging within him. The aroma of spices from the street vendor below did little to stir his senses. His world, once brimming with vibrant hues, now seemed painted in muted shades of grey. He was adrift in a sea of longing, the vastness of the distance separating them a constant, agonizing weight. Their love story had unfolded like a delicate jasmine vine, its fragrance subtle yet intoxicating. They had met in the library, drawn together by a shared love for poetry and the unspoken language of stolen glances. He remembered the way her eyes, dark and luminous, would light up during their animated discussions about literature and life. Their dreams had been woven together with hopes of a future where their paths would merge into one. They had imagined a life filled with the simple joys of shared meals, whispered secrets under a starlit sky, and the comforting rhythm of their heartbeats echoing each other's. Their love was a sanctuary, a world they had built together, brick by fragile brick, within the confines of their dreams. Zara's family, steeped in tradition, had always viewed their bond with suspicion. Whispers of a suitable match for Zara, someone who could elevate their social standing, had begun to reach Ayaan's ears. He had tried to quell the rising tide of unease, clinging to the fragile hope that their love would be strong enough to weather any storm. The weight of societal expectations and familial obligations proved too heavy a burden for Zara to bear. Her father, a man of unwavering principles and deep-rooted traditions, had presented her with an ultimatum, a choice between her family and the man she loved. The memory of that fateful evening was etched into the deepest recesses of Ayaan's mind. Zara's voice, usually brimming with laughter, had been strained, the words catching in her throat as she delivered the news that shattered his world. Their dreams, once vibrant and alive, lay in pieces around them, the casualties of a battle they were ill-equipped to fight. Through the veil of unshed tears, he had glimpsed the depth of her anguish, the silent scream of her heart mirroring his own. Words, rendered meaningless in the face of such profound loss, remained unspoken. Their goodbye was a tapestry of shared silence, pregnant with the weight of unspoken words and the crushing finality of their separation. Section 5. Echoes in the Void. Years passed, each one a slow, relentless march of time that did little to diminish the intensity of his emotions. He had moved on, building a life that outwardly reflected success and contentment, yet a part of him remained tethered to the past. Zara's memory was a bittersweet ache, a constant presence in the quiet corners of his heart. He often found himself drawn to the places they had frequented, the park bench where they shared their first kiss, the bookstore where their eyes had met over a worn copy of their favorite poetry anthology. Each location held echoes of their shared past, whispering reminders of a love that time could not erase. Section 6. Letters unsent, words unspoken. He had poured out his soul in countless letters, each one a testament to the enduring power of their love. Yet each letter remained unsent, a tangible representation of the distance that separated them. The knowledge that she was living a life prescribed by duty and obligation, not by the dictates of her heart, served as an invisible barrier. Ayaan often wondered if she ever thought of him, if their shared past held the same poignant sweetness for her as it did for him. Did she ever find solace in the memories they had created together? Did she too hear their song playing softly in the silence of her heart? Section 7. A Life Half-Lived. Ayaan had achieved all that he had set out to accomplish: professional success, financial security, and the respect and admiration of his peers. Yet there was an emptiness at the core of his being, a void that could only be filled by the one person fate had cruelly kept out of reach. He had built a life, but it was a life half-lived, a pale imitation of the one he had envisioned sharing with Zara. The weight of their unspoken goodbye, the burden of their unfulfilled dreams, had become his constant companion. The passage of time had done little to dull the sharp edges of his grief. It had merely taught him to live with the constant ache in his heart, a testament to the enduring power of a love that defied definition and transcended physical presence. Section 8. Time, the unbidden guest. Time, the unbidden guest, had etched lines on his face, a road map of the years that had passed. Each line told a story of silent longing, of dreams deferred, and of a love that burned with a steady, unwavering flame. The world around him had changed, but his heart remained tethered to the past, forever young, forever yearning. He often found himself seeking solace in the familiar words of their favorite poets, their verses echoing the unspoken dialogues of his soul. The poetry became his confidant, a silent witness to the love story that continued to unfold within the sanctuary of his heart. Section 9. The Language of the Heart. Their love story wasn't a grand spectacle of passionate declarations and dramatic gestures. It was a quiet understanding, a deep-seated connection that transcended the spoken word. It was in the shared silences, the knowing glances, and the unspoken language of the heart that their love found its truest expression. Their love was a tapestry woven from threads of longing, woven with unspoken promises, and adorned with the delicate beauty of dreams shared and cherished. It was a love that found strength in its vulnerability, a love that endured despite the relentless march of time and the unyielding weight of distance. Section 10. Love's Unending Melody. And so Ayaan continued to live his life, carrying the memory of their love like a precious, bittersweet melody in his heart. He knew with a certainty that defied logic and transcended the boundaries of time and space that their souls remained entwined, their love an invisible bridge spanning the vast distance that separated them. Theirs was a love that whispered on the wind, a love that echoed in the rustling leaves, a love that burned with a quiet intensity, forever bound by an unspoken promise whispered in the language of the heart. Their love was a timeless melody, its poignant beauty echoing through the corridors of his soul, a testament to the enduring power of a love that transcended time and distance.